particularly when there is very little historical documentation. I think about my work as an alternative primary record or secondary record, maybe, and kind of like a resource for other people.
How do you decide which gaps in the archive should be left open? Which ones do you attempt to imaginatively reconstruct through the retelling of stories?
When I go to a museum and I read the history or description of an object, I always try to remind myself that this was written by a person who looked into the history of this object and then is framing it in a certain way. In a lot of the projects that I work with, there are these gaps that exist. And so I feel compelled to kind of respond to that through my making. I'm also adding to that record. So if there is a gap that exists and then my artwork comes up to kind of like fill that gap, I do see that as very valid documentation of the story of a place, an object, a person in time. A lot of the research that I did for the Adari work, I've shared with other artists because they were also interested in looking at it. So for me, the research aspect and the work come together as a package. And I'm very interested in sharing that, like that being accessible to other people. In the same way that I went out and found whatever was accessible to me, I always think about it in that way.